Alrighty, everybody. Hello. Hello and welcome. How's everyone doing today? Welcome to a rarity. Welcome to a Tuesday stream. That is right. I've not done a Tuesday stream in a while. Typically, Tuesday is my day off from streaming, but this week my schedule is a little bit different, which is fine, of course. But I just want to say thanks to those of you who are actually here because I get the feeling a lot of people may not show up today thinking today's my day off because it usually is. Today is June 2nd, 2020. I welcome you all to my first of two gameplay streams for the day. Full day of gameplay streaming here on my streams today. And what we're doing is basically doubling up on new content. Rather than doing any chill stream stuff today, I decided to just kind of advance with the new content that I've been doing. Excuse me. So, welcome. What are we doing today? Let's talk a little bit about that before we get to other stuff. First stream today is Mortal Kombat 11. Continuing on with the Aftermath DLC that I started up last week. We're going to be checking out the second of the three new characters that was unlocked in the Aftermath DLC. Now, which one is it? I don't know. It's either going to be Fujin or Shiva. All right, I don't know which character to use. I have a Twitter poll up right now, and the last time I checked, it was pretty much neck and neck between the two characters. So, I don't know, what we're going to be doing today. I might check the poll right before we start, and of course, I'll probably ask you guys who are here live on the stream, do you prefer Fujin or Shiva? Who would you like to see as the character that I check out today? Now, by the way, full disclosure, chances are later this week I'm playing this again, and I'm probably going to be playing with the character who I'm not playing with today. So it's not like, oh, well, if we don't say the one we want today, that's it. We'll never see the other character. You know what I mean? So, I don't mind either character. More than likely, we'll be checking out the other one later in the week. Kobe17 just asked, which character do I prefer? I don't prefer either. I played a little bit with each in the story of Aftermath, this DLC, and I would say that Fujin seems interesting, but at the same time, the build of Shiva that was in the game was very basic and kind of crappy. I've since heard from people like Super Blind Man that Shiva actually is quite a good character, but the build that they put in the story was really terrible. That the build for tournament play is much better. So, it really doesn't matter to me. I'll play with either character. It doesn't really matter to me at all. So, I'll see what you guys say. In a few minutes, I'll basically ask you guys what are you interested in seeing and go from there. All right? So, what are we doing? Whichever character I end up playing, we're going to do what I always do when we do this kind of coverage. We're going to be taking them into their character tutorials to learn the properties of their special moves, then into training mode to mess around with their combos, try to learn some strategies, maybe some basic combos I can use with that character, then taking them into their arcade ladder, I think they call it classic ladder in this game, to go through a few fights against AI and check out the fatalities, the friendships, and then seeing their ending, all right? And then going into online gameplay, all right? Now, I'm telling you guys up front, all right? I have to end early today. I have to end in 10 minutes. So in 10 minutes, the stream goes off. So however much gameplay we get in the next 10 minutes, that's it. And then the stream's going off. I'm kidding. I have to end about a half an hour early today. Usually I stream till about 4 p.m. I have to end around 3:30-ish. I'm making dinner today for my wife before she goes to work. All right, so it's okay because at that point we'll have gotten in a lot of online play regardless. And like I said, this is a fighting game with online play, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. I don't think. I think it'll be fine. Just ending a slight bit early. Okay, not a big deal, not a huge deal. We should still get in at over an hour or more of online play with whichever character I'm playing with today. Okay? Now, later tonight, I'm actually playing Fire Emblem Three Houses on a late stream. This is the first time that I'm playing the game on a late stream. And what might happen, quite honestly, moving forward, is I may alternate this game from a main stream to a late stream. And the reason being is twofold. Number one, the game's incredibly freaking long. People are saying the game's like 70 to 80 hours long. Now, how on earth am I ever going to beat this game, right, in a normal amount of time if I'm only playing it as a mainstream like twice a week, that could take 10 plus weeks. You know, do you really want to see me playing this game until September? Probably not. All right, so I figure maybe alternating it from being a main daytime stream to a late night stream to get in a couple of extra hours of gameplay every week or so. You know, that might work out a little bit better. And in addition, let's be honest here, it's not the most action-packed game. It's a turn-based RPG with a lot of social interaction elements with your teammates. So in reality, the game does lend itself to being a more relaxing stream. I like it so far. But of course, you got people who, number one, don't like JRPGs, and number two, people who are very, very critical of games where it's just a kind of a lot of talking and walking around doing stuff like that rather than action, action, action. And already I can tell they're getting antsy in their pantsy. They're saying, oh man, this is not the best game. You know, you guys asked me for almost a full year to play this game. If I remember correctly, didn't it come out in August of last year? Maybe it was September. But I think it was August of 2019. And everyone asking me to play it. Why didn't I play it? Why did I skip it? You know? So finally, for Viewer's Choice, you guys nominate, vote on it, make it happen. And immediately the complaints come in, and it's like, you know, what do you want me to do? You know, thank God I'm a variety streamer. That's what I have to say. Can you imagine if I was stuck to one game and now I've committed to playing this nonstop? And it's like they say, you can please some of the people all of the time. You can please all the people some of the time, but you just can't please everyone all the time. And sometimes I play Mortal Kombat, and people are like, oh, I don't like fighting games. I'll play Fire Emblem. Oh, I don't like JRPGs, you know? It is what it is. I understand that I do have a diverse audience of many tastes, and that's a good thing. I very much enjoy that. But I'm happy that, for example, I'm not playing Fire Emblem constantly, and then people would be disappointed if they don't like that kind of game, right? So let's see what happens tonight. 2 hours of Fire Emblem on the late stream. I'm off from streaming tomorrow. Okay. That's my day off where I'm going to be running errands, spending time with my family. I'll be back on Thursday. Now, originally Thursday was going to be my coverage of the Sony PlayStation 5 event. Because of all the protests and the unrest in the United States, Sony has delayed this event. They have not said when it's going to be. I would guess within the next 2 weeks, because I get the feeling they're just waiting for the clamor of all this unrest in the country to calm down a little bit, and then they're probably, you know, dying to do it. You could tell they were super hyped and excited for it this week. So it's going to happen probably within the next 2 weeks, I would guess. Okay, and so when it does happen, I will be covering it much like I cover my E3 stuff. You know, we'll do some, you know, watching it together, taking notes, reactions, and recap afterward. We'll even do like a pre-stream kind of a deal where we speculate what games are Sony going to do for PS5 and blah, blah, blah. But it's kind of on hold now. It's on the back burner, all right? And rightly so. You know, right? We got more important things going on right now in the country, and Sony doesn't want to try to jump in on that. They think, you know, and I agree, you know, big gaming things probably are not going to happen in the next week. Let's put it that way, okay? So, what are we doing on Thursday instead? Well, instead it's going to be a normal streaming day. When I come back from my break, it'll be a full stream of Fire Emblem Three Houses, okay? And then Thursday night, it's going to be Animal Crossing. By the way, if you didn't see my Animal Crossing stream last night, it was actually quite fun because the summer month events have begun. What that means is there's all new creatures, meaning bugs, fish, all new good, crazy stuff, including sharks. And I caught a ginormous shark last night. It was super fun. It shocked me. I was like, oh my God, that's really cool that we were able to pull that off. So if you didn't see the stream, the gameplay is live over on DSPGaming right now. And, you know, when I play this again on Thursday, I predict more fun in that regard, okay? So that's Thursday's streams. Friday, it's going to be Fighting Game Friday. Excuse me. You might be saying, well, what is Fighting Game Friday? I'll tell you. It's a day where I play fighting games all day. First, it's going to be Mortal Kombat 11, and I'm going to be playing whichever character I don't check out today, I'll be checking out on Friday. All right? And then Friday night, it's going to be Throwback Street Fighter. Okay? That should be fun. All fighting games all day long. Now, this coming weekend, I want to start up a new playthrough because I feel that just balancing between Mortal Kombat 11 and Fire Emblem isn't enough. Plus, let's be honest here, I'm not going to be playing Mortal Kombat forever. After this stream, coming up on Friday, maybe if you guys really want it, I would do another one, maybe to check out one of the other DLC characters that I kind of, missed out on or skipped in the last year. But in reality, I get the feeling that's going to be nearing the end of my coverage. I'm not going to want to play it forever. It's fun to come back every once in a while, try out some new characters or a DLC, but I'm not in love with Mortal Kombat 11 anyway, okay? Now, what should I play for an upcoming playthrough starting this weekend? There are many options, all right? And here's a few of the options that I'm considering. First of all, there have been a couple new releases recently that I have not touched, that I'm interested in playing. Maneater, supposed to be this shark-related RPG. The game's now been out for over a week, and no one's talking about it. I'm not surprised. I told you, it was hyped up for like 3 straight days on social media everywhere. A bunch of people bought it because of the hype, and now I haven't heard a damned thing about it since then. So is the game actually good or not? I've heard differing opinions. A lot of people say that it is quite fun. Other people have said, sadly, there's a ton of bugs. It's not polished because it's more of an indie-style game that just got a lot of hype because of marketing. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about that one. Some people are saying it would be really good to play. It's my style. Other people are like, nah, you might not even want to bother finishing it. So I don't know. There's Minecraft Dungeons. This is a game in the world of Minecraft that's supposed to be a dungeon crawler with RPG elements. I've heard it's not very long. I've actually heard the game is, actually quite short when it comes to the actual, story or whatever. It's only $20 though, so it could be a quicker playthrough for a few streams. So that's a consideration. Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition. Where's this coming from? Well, a couple weeks ago, someone gifted me Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition on the Xbox One. And I've actually kind of been holding it as an idea of a downtime playthrough that I could do as something completely different and refreshing during this downtime. Okay? So, that's possible. All right? In addition to that, it could be, there's many other things. But the thing is, I don't want to jump into anything that's too long. And I also don't want to do anything that's an RPG. I'm already in the midst of the early stages of Fire Emblem. The last thing I want to do is interject another RPG into the mix and now have way too much RPG overload. I don't think that's going to work. Okay? So that's some of my ideas. I'm totally open to more ideas. Whatever things you guys want to suggest for a playthrough. But the thing is, you got to remember, this has to be a game that's going to kind of hold water for a main gameplay stream. So, for example, Alva Waffle just said, well, Streets of Rage. I mean, yeah, that's obviously one that I missed. And I didn't really play Streets of Rage 4 because a couple reasons. Number one, because it's a short game. From all reports, the game's 4 hours long. Okay? The other thing is, because it's a co-op beat-em-up. Playing it by yourself isn't very fun nor entertaining. It's kind of about, cooperatively playing with somebody. So I was thinking if I was going to do Streets of Rage 4, it would be more of like a late night stream where I play it a couple times with somebody. But the truth of the matter is, I asked you guys about it, and not many people seemed too excited about it. Just when it first released, and then people talked about it, and since then it was like, nah, don't really care. So I don't know. I'm on the fence. I definitely want to start something new this coming weekend. Absolutely. I want to have a new game in the mix. Because like I said, I get the feeling Mortal Kombat 11, I'm not going to be playing it much longer. I'm going to need something to balance with Fire Emblem for about at least another week, if not a little bit longer. Until The Last of Us 2 comes out, which is the big release for this month that everyone's going to be clamoring about and talking about and want to see me play right away, right? So, give me ideas. Let me know what you think. I'm already seeing some ideas in the stream chat for various things. I'm going to be taking your feedback today, Thursday and Friday, to hopefully determine what I play on Saturday. All right, because Saturday is when I want to do this main new playthrough, okay? So, let's see what you guys suggest. All right? All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. So that's the schedule roughly for this week, okay? Outside of that reminder, a few things. Number one, you can currently nominate moments from my 11 plus years as a content creator on the internet for the upcoming marathon event. All right? Please do. Please nominate your favorite moments for the upcoming marathon, because the more you nominate, the better the event will be. You can nominate these moments via two different methods, either by typing ! retrospective in the stream chat, or just wait 20 minutes or so and a link should automatically paste in the stream chat. Please nominate these moments on the forums. Please, if you do so, include a timestamp in a video that you link so we know what you're talking about, so we can find it. That event will be taking place in mid to late June. I'm thinking give you guys a couple of weeks to nominate your favorite moments, and then we set it up for mid to late June, a marathon day celebration, right? It should be fun. It should be pretty fun to do it. I'm excited for it. I hope you guys are excited too. Very nice. Now, one other thing before we move on to a little bit of discussion about current events and everything going on in the world before we get into gameplay here. The Vest Streak folks, I just want to say something again. Thank you so much. You guys have been insanely supportive, incredibly, insanely, unexpectedly supportive in the last 2 months. We're currently on day 100, stream 112 of hitting the Vest Streak. That's incredibly crazy. The amount of support, of crowdfunding you guys have shown for my streams, I really do appreciate it. All right. I've been saying I thought that the streak is nearing its end. I've been saying this recently. Like, I really feel like I thought around when it hit 100, that was going to be it and it wasn't going to continue. And yet, it perseveres. All right? It still continues. But it is not as guaranteed as it once was. And what I mean by that is I've noticed the past couple of days, it's been close. Let's put it that way. Last night, I was playing Animal Crossing, and it wasn't until the very last half hour of the stream that someone generous came into the stream and gave a very large tip, and it allowed us to hit the goal. And I am noticing every stream it's getting closer and closer, all right? So I just want to say this up front. I don't want to be negative. I don't want to be a naysayer. I don't want to be a pessimist, all right? But the Vest Streak is eventually going to end. It may be today. It may be tomorrow. Well, tomorrow I'm not here, so it won't be tomorrow. But it could be Thursday. It could be in a week. It could be in a month. It could be in a year. Who knows? Right? I have no idea. I can't even predict at this point because it's been so crazy. I never thought that it would continue this long. All right? But you guys have been so amazing with, letting me hit this tips goal every stream over and over and over. Again, incredibly supportive. I'm super grateful. All right? I am not going to be disappointed when it ends. All right, I'm not. That would be insanely ridiculous. That would be insanely greedy. Okay? Of me to say, oh, how dare you let the Vest Streak end? That's ludicrous. You guys have helped me out more than you would ever know. You really got me into a great position, starting off back on my feet here after being in a really bad situation for a long time. And I appreciate that very, 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 very much. Okay? So thank you. Thank you for the ongoing support. I really do appreciate it. But I don't know realistically how much longer it's going to continue. Okay? I get the feeling you're going to see the next couple of days it's going to be rough if we hit it. It seems like it's getting tougher and tougher. And that's to be expected. That was never something that I thought was going to continue forever. I did feel that it was going to get tougher. I even told you guys I thought in the last week it was going to end. So thank you for all the support up to now. I really appreciate it, right? FYI, in the works, I am planning a big celebratory event if we do hit 150 Vest Streak, all right? Am I expecting to hit that? No, I'm not. I'm really not. But that's the one we're going to do another big celebratory event where it would probably be another special stream with another DSP Tries It special episode. All right, and some other festivities and stuff thrown in there. All right. So thank you up to now for all the support, and let's see if we can keep it going today. Amazing. But if not, I'm not going to be upset either. Okay, guys? All right. Now, man, in regards to everything going on, in the real world now, outside of my streams and gameplay and everything, first of all, yes, we had a curfew here where I live, because the night before we had rioting. We had people going out and looting. It wasn't really riots in regards to protesting, in regards to the death of George Floyd or the Black Lives Matter. I can't say it right. I keep fucking botching when I say Black Lives Matter. It's just stupid. I'm an idiot. But it had nothing to do with that. It was people going out and just looting for the sake of looting, in my town, which is fucked up. There were actual protests going on in my town that were very productive and peaceful, and these idiots had to go try to loot to basically steal and make money and capitalize off of the actual constructive work of others. Okay? Well, last night, my town instituted another curfew, so my wife had to go to work and come home early. But the good news is, at least from what I'm to understand, there was no real looting. It calmed down. I mean, yeah, there's probably some people looking to do it, but I think they realize they're not going to get away with it. So maybe today things will get back to normal. I don't know. Later tonight, if I have time, what I would like to do is, as I told you guys, set up the merchandise on my Teespring store that features the vests. I've had artwork now for a few days where I could set up a new line of merch, t-shirts, maybe a mug or something that features the vest. You guys have asked me to set up vest merchandise for a while, and I'd like to do that. But, I was going to have time last night, and then my wife came home early from work because of all this curfew and all this looting, and so it got all screwed up. So, let's see what happens. Maybe tonight I'll have some time for that. Maybe I won't. It all depends on how stuff actually goes here. And what they determine they want to do. Obviously, if I get the new merch up, I will let you guys know that I got the merch up and that you can check it out. Okay? And of course, I'll let you know where to get it, over on my Teespring. So, more info on that coming later today if I can make it happen or not. We'll see. But, in line with everything going on, I've already said many things about the whole situation. But kind of last night, again, here it is, I have trouble obviously sleeping when all this crazy stuff is going on in our country here. And I start thinking back, to the things that I said and did in my old videos. And we're talking, when I started on YouTube, we're talking 2008 through 2011, 2012. Those early formative years when I was super popular on YouTube, as an independent Let's Player, guy who did playthroughs, whatever you want to call it. It was a very different time. It was a very different time. On the internet, no one took things seriously. And I mean that, you could basically joke about anything, and everyone was like, oh, I see, this is just open format to do silly jokes. There wasn't people getting super offended about stuff very often, because I think they realized that it was kind of like the Wild West. You know what I mean? Anything goes, everything's allowed on the internet. Now today, we're a lot more conscious of what we say and do on the internet. We realize that our words have consequences. We realize that jokes can actually be hurtful, but I think it took a long time for everyone to kind of realize that there was a time frame, 10 years ago, that on the internet, everyone thought everything on the internet was a joke. Right? And you know what? Pray for Rock just said something interesting. He said, a good joke would be timeless. A good joke would be found funny 10 years ago and still funny today. I think that actually says something. Because if there was a joke that I made in the past that was funny then, but now people find offensive, maybe that's because it was really not funny. It was just opportunistic. You know what I mean? I used to do all kinds of racial comedy in my videos. And I no longer do that. For the most part, maybe every once in a while, I will reference a generality in a video, or a stereotype. But I certainly don't ever try to bring up things that would be found as insulting or degrading to a particular race, gender, or group of people. But you know, back then, shit. Like I said, it was the Wild West, and everyone liked that kind of content. That's what they were looking for, the risque, you know, the over-the-top kind of comedy. That was what I was known for back then. That Phil will say and do anything in his videos. That's why his playthroughs are so fun and everything, right? But certainly it's different now. It's a very different time and place to not only just be a content creator on the internet, but just to be alive in general. All right. And in light of everything going on, you know, right now in our country, you know, I'm thinking back to some of the stuff that I did in the past, and I'm like, God, you know, I feel terrible about some of the stuff that I used to joke about. The thing is, here's the thing. Some people say, Phil, are you upset or ashamed about the things you used to do? And the answer is yes. In 2020, I look back then, and I say, you know, back then, it was kind of like everything goes, right? And now I look back and I say, man, now that I'm older, now that I'm wiser, now that I've done this for over a decade, I realize that the things that I say and do on the internet are heard by thousands of people, okay? Whether they're people who like me or not is regardless of the fact that thousands of people hear what I say on a daily basis, okay? And so when I look back now and I say, man, back then I just didn't give a shit. I was like, man, if you take this seriously, it's your fault and blah, blah, blah. But now I look back at games that I really just ripped a new asshole, game developers who I insulted irresponsibly. There's a difference between a game that's a piece of broken shit and or a ripoff and a game that maybe I was just joking about to get a laugh, right? You know, yes, racial jokes, racial comedy that I used to use, and it was basically generalities. It was me using stereotypes as a way to make an observation and make comedy, all right? But here's the thing. Here's what you got to be careful of. And I hope, at least in the years that I used to do that kind of comedy, that I never did this. I don't know if I did. I very well might have. But I hope I never did. There's a difference between making a joke that's something like, oh, this group of people really love to eat this kind of food, right? Is that a stereotype? Yes. Could that be harmful? Yeah, I guess so. But it's nowhere near as bad as saying, this group of people is infamously known for doing this horrendous thing all the time, or this group of people is worse than everyone else, or this group of people is a group of criminals, and you should fear them, and they should be treated differently. That's very different. You understand me? And when I think about that, I think about why is there a group of people in our country who actually think that African Americans are to be feared and treated differently, and why is it that African Americans have to walk the streets in fear that if a cop pulls them over at any moment they could be beaten, or they could be arrested unfairly, treated unfairly, or in the case of George Floyd, absolutely murdered for no reason, right? I think it's because of these fucking stupid shit that we say. It's because we're irresponsible. It's because we're dumb, and we think that life's a joke, and that we could just pass around these really hurtful stereotypes about race, about other things too, you know, gender and things. You know, you don't understand when you're saying it, but then it becomes this kind of groupthink mentality that becomes almost fact. You know what I mean? I mean, we got people in this country that, I'm not exaggerating, they're deadly afraid of African Americans. They're like, oh my God, I'm terrified of someone because they're black. It's like, that's stupidity. Why? And it's because, well, you know, my whole life I was told that they're dangerous and this and that's. Like, that is fucking just ridiculous stupidity, you know? And it shot, you know, go back to Grand Theft Auto 5. Remember when there's this scene, help, he's black, right? Now, we all laughed at that when it happened. And to this day, we still laugh at that because it's so ridiculous. But the sad fact is there's people that fucking believe that. There's people that actually think like that. And it's not a small group. It's actually a pretty hefty-sized group in our country who have these crazy fucking beliefs, right? And again, I've never in my life had those feelings. I grew up in a community that was multicultural. I grew up in a school I went to that was multicultural. My life, I was always around a wide variety of races and creeds. I never had those feelings, and I'm actually lucky and grateful that that was the case, because I can't imagine growing up in a bigoted area where people think that one race is bad or can't be trusted or is a criminal element. That's fucked up. That's just a weird brainwashing, cultish mentality of stupidity that we need to find a way to erase from our culture here in the United States. And now this is the thing. Like, I think back to the kind of commentary that I used to do in my videos. I'm like, man, I really hope that I didn't make anyone think that way with anything that I said or did. And whether it was African Americans, whether it was, Asian people, whether it was any culture, I hope that I didn't hurt anyone with the stuff that I said and did, because I feel awful now. I think back, like, man, again, back then, it was a different time where everyone thought that, that stuff was okay. No one took offense. And now you look and you're like, it's not just about people taking offense. It's about being responsible. It's about actually realizing that what you say and do has consequences. People can take you at a face value rather than being smart enough or mature enough to know you're joking, And that's a problem, because that can create a groupthink mentality that's completely incorrect and is incredibly harmful to people. And that's what I changed over the years. You know what I mean? That's what I completely said. I can't do that anymore. I got to take this stuff out of my content. I got to be more about being real with my audience. Just, having a more fun, organic time with a viewing audience, rather than having to fill every moment of dead air with a stupid, over-the-top, risque joke. Instead, we could just have fun together, enjoying games at face value, which is all I ever wanted to do to begin with. But on YouTube, you got to keep that viewer engaged. You got to constantly be doing crap. And for me, I didn't edit the dead times out, right? I didn't do any of that. Instead, I had to constantly go blah, 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 and talk every waking moment to keep people occupied, okay? Now, here's the other thing, all right? A lot of people would say, well, Phil, that's your past, right? You don't do that anymore. That's great. But then why don't you, you still got all that stuff up on the internet right now. People can bring it up and reference it. Why don't you delete it? Why don't you stop? Right now, there's a song that I play on my pre-stream. All right? It's the Back in Time song. And if you're not aware, this is a song from a video game called Singularity that features a time warp mechanic where you're going back and forward through time. And it's a really good song. For the time, 10 years ago, this was a game that really didn't have much attention. I played it, did a full playthrough, and the game got a lot of attention because of my playthrough, which was cool. And this remix was a part of that. Okay? But there's a joke in that song from my commentary of the game about rape. Yeah, there's a joke about rape. And yesterday, someone in the stream chat on pre-stream called me out for it. And they said, why do you keep playing this song? All right? I say, well, here's the thing. First of all, I 100% agree that rape is not something to be joked about. And back then, 10 years ago, I was super immature about it because I came from the fighting game community. All right? And the fighting game community, I hate to say, back then was pretty immature too. All right? I'm not kidding. This is the truth. In the fighting game community, at least from when I was a part of it, from the late 90s through the 2000s, all right, actually using the term rape, you got raped, all right, in the fighting game community, actually meant you just got destroyed in a match. You basically got utterly destroyed. Maybe you got double perfected, or, you got destroyed. The giant combo completely wrecked your whole team. You wouldn't say, oh, you got wrecked. Oh, you got wiped. You say you got raped. People would actually say that as an acceptable term in the fighting game community. It's not. Now I understand that, because in the last 10 years, I've become a much more mature and wise individual. I've educated myself on the subject. I know how insanely messed up it is to reference a horrendous life experience like being raped as a joke. It's not a joke in any way, shape, or form, and should never be referenced like that. But I was immature and I didn't know that. I was in a groupthink mentality of the fighting game community that'll always use that term as a casual term in dialect to the point where I was throwing it around left and right as if it meant nothing. It was just a joke. It was meaningless, right? It was harmless. It's not harmless at all. It's completely fucked up to say stuff like that, right? Now, you'll listen to this remix of this song from Singularity, and you hear me say it, and you're like, man, and every time I hear it, I cringe. Every fucking time I hear myself say it now, I cringe. And I say, you know what? I'm going to keep playing that song. You want to know why? Because I need to remind myself that that's who I was, that's what I used to do, and that that's wrong. All right? If we erase the wrongdoings of our past from the internet or from the world, we'll never know we did them, and then we're destined to repeat them. And that's why when I hear we want to erase this from history, we want to do this or that, I feel that's wrong. I feel that what we need to do is we need to acknowledge our wrongdoings, and then we need to learn from them, not pretend like they didn't happen. Why get rid of that song and be like, oh, it didn't happen? What are you talking about? No, it did. I was an idiot. I own that, and I learned from it, and I don't do it anymore. And I'll outright speak against myself from 10 years ago and say that was wrong what I did, and no one should do that. That's not funny. But I didn't know that back then. I was ignorant. Now I'm not, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen, and that doesn't mean we pretend like it didn't happen, right? So that's the deal, and that's how I feel everyone should. How will you ever learn that you were wrong if you don't admit that you were wrong? How would you ever learn from it? You know what I mean? So, for me, I think that's a way for me to learn and to be a better person, okay? I do. I think that's a way for me to learn and for me to be a better person. And last night, I was actually, again, it's like the second night of like self-realization where I'm sitting around trying to sleep. I can't because of all the stuff going on in the country. And I'm just kind of thinking about all the stuff from my past that I've said and done and realizing, man, I could have been part of the problem. Hopefully, I would hope it had nothing to do with the way that people think about African Americans, because I really would hope that nothing that I ever joked about in that regard ever made a single person be bigoted or be stupid or ignorant. I hope not. But certainly I know I used to joke about different groups all the time in my old content, and I think about like, damn, that's just fucked up, man. And now I'm better. I do my best to not do that stuff, and I just want to be a better person and a better content creator and not be doing this kind of crap anymore. Okay? Okay, fair enough. All right. Here you go. I wanted to get that off my chest because, I was thinking about it last night. I tweeted about it. The best part about all this, I don't say the best part, the stupidest part, the idiots who respond to tweets, insightful tweets that I'm trying to make. Oh, that's the 3 a.m. gin talk. And first of all, I'm pretty sure I tweeted around like 1 a.m. And it's because I'm trying to sleep. And when you sleep, things get on your mind and then you can't sleep. Like, during the daytime, I'm so busy. I'm busy with my streams. I'm busy with my family. I'm busy with life. You don't really get a time to sit down and really think deeply about this stuff until it's time to like kind of rest and go to sleep. And then you start thinking about stuff like, damn, now I realize this. And that's when it hits me. What does it matter what time of the fucking day it is, right? And no, I'm not sitting around fucking drinking and having these thoughts. Trust me, if I were drinking, I would be, I'd be zoning out and not having these thoughts. It's having a nice clear head before I'm going to sleep that I actually these things start popping in my head. So the stupidity of people when it comes to this stuff is just amazing. So anyway, guys, hopefully some of the things that I've said over the last few days in regards to everything going on in the world have resonated. I hope that me kind of sharing my personal thoughts and, beliefs and my whole take on all this stuff going on at least has had some kind of helpful use for you. As I told you guys many times, I'm not a guru. I'm not someone who's smarter than anyone else. I'm just a guy who plays games on the internet. But obviously, this is stuff that's going through everyone's head right now. And I hope that at least you found that me talking about this stuff has had some kind of positive impact on you. And if not, fair enough. A lot of people just tune into my stuff for gameplay. That's why if you notice, during the gameplay, I do try to shy away from these topics. I try to talk about this stuff on pre-stream as much as I can and get out of the way, so that way people who are just coming here to relax and have fun with games, you get that when the gameplay begins, right? So, I certainly hope that something positive has come out of me mentioning this stuff, all right? I'm not going to do it forever. I promise you that. But at the same time, with the state of what's going on in our country and everything going on, I really felt that if ever I was going to talk about this stuff or bring it up, this would be the time. Now it's pertinent to what we're doing. As you know, I don't like talking politics and everything, but this goes far past politics. This has nothing to do with Democrats versus Republicans and shit like that. This has to do with life in general, social justice, doing what's right, speaking up against messed up stuff for a certain group of people in our country. Sometimes you just got to step out of your comfort zone and you got to do it when you feel that you have a responsibility as a human being to do the right thing. And that's why I've been doing it. Okay? Fair enough? All right. So I said my piece. I hope that you found value in it. I do. And now we're going to move on. Now it's time to move on to shout outs for those who contributed. So far, there's only 3 contributions, so this should be short. Well, actually, there was an overnight contribution from Froggins, who cheered and said, I don't know if anyone told you yet, but the Destroy All Humans remake is coming out on July 28th, so it's going to be a busy month. Yeah, I've known this for a long time. And I've told you guys, that in general, there is quite a lot of releases coming out in July this year that are very, very crammed. Between Ghost of Tsushima, which is the big one, right? But you're right, you got the Destroy All Humans remake, I believe. There's 4. Hold on, because I got the list right over here. Let me take a look. Okay. We've got 4 big ones. We got Deadly Premonition 2, a Switch exclusive. That's crazy that it is. A Switch exclusive in early July. Mid-July, we got Paper Mario and the Origami King and Ghost of Tsushima coming out on the same day. And then in late July, you got the Destroy All Humans remake. That's actually one of the busiest gaming months in, years. 4 really high-profile releases in July. This probably is the busiest July ever for gaming. In the, over 11 years that I've been covering gaming on the internet, I have never seen a July this jam-packed with content. If you remember, July used to be a month where I basically had to do filler content. I didn't, there wasn't enough going on during this time frame for me to do, a ton of content that was, entertaining and riveting. It was like, okay, let's just do a bunch of downtime shit. And now, this year is like the crazy exception, where July is going to be one of the busiest gaming months we've ever seen. And by the way, I'm only mentioning the 4 major releases. There are other minor releases in July as well that I'm not mentioning here because these are the 4 that I'm really interested in, okay? All right, let me go put the list back. This year was dry as fuck. I mean, yeah, let's just be honest here. Of course it was, and we know why. Think of all the crazy shit that happened this year so far, and we're only not even halfway into it, right? So, of course, we've got so much stuff that's being delayed and being redone, and, the whole year has been thrown into disarray because of the state of our world, okay? So you got to understand, of course, gaming is going to be screwed up this year, right? Okay. Let's continue. So the first contribution today came in from Richard Link, who resubscribed for 10 months. And he said, hey, Phil, it's been an amazing 10 months. Morrowind's the best. Don't listen to haters. I hope all is well. Thank you for that, Richard Lane. I've really been enjoying the Morrowind playthrough. I have. I've been having a lot of fun with Morrowind. And now that I kind of understand it, although I get stuck every once in a while not knowing how to progress because there's usually a gameplay mechanic I'm not understanding, or there's this really not explained way to go about stuff in a lot of cases in that game. And so I get frustrated, right? But in general, I really am enjoying the gameplay and the playthrough because it's allowing me to be kind of see that where everything came from, where the origins of Skyrim and all of that, right? So I've had a lot of fun with it, and it's sad that there's people who sadly come just to that stream to complain. They will literally just sit there, and complain because they're like, it's an old game. I don't like it. That's not right. You got to give it a chance at least. All right. So I'm looking. I don't know what happened here. Hold on. One thing I'm going to say, guys, when I'm playing games, all right, you got to be careful about the kind of discussions you're getting into. I guess last night, I was playing Animal Crossing, and I didn't even know this was happening, but apparently a heated debate started happening about race and all of this, and apparently a bunch of people got either timed out or banned, because they kept going at it. It was like two different sides in an argument were going at each other. And I've heard from people from the two different sides of the argument being like, I got banned. You got to be careful, man. This is a gameplay stream, all right? And if you're going to sit here and you're going to make these arguments or whatever, you got to understand that sometimes the moderators got to do their job to keep things under control. They have to. I can't have them allow people to just completely derail the stream, have people get into these arguments, can't. And so I apologize for those who maybe in the last couple of days with all the heated tensions going on in our country, I can understand how the discussions can veer from gameplay or whatever. But you also got to be understanding that the mods are just trying to keep order here. And when they see people start arguing with each other and getting at each other's throats, they have every right to time people out and then subsequently ban people if they're going to keep at it. All right? And I've noticed that. If someone gets timed out, they come back in. Why did I get timed out? How dare you do this? And then they get banned. Well, that's what's going to happen. That's how it works. So I hope you guys understand that and just kind of be understanding at this time that you got to kind of chill, All right, let's continue here. Snorlax is the first cheerer of the day. He said, Minecraft Dungeons is on Game Pass, so the story is really short, can be done in one sitting. Might be worth it to not buy it, just use Game Pass. They were doing $1 deal to sign up this past week. It might still be going. I heard there's another game under Game Pass, too, that I was considering. What's the other game? There were two games that people were like, just get them under Game Pass. I'm not sure. I think, was it Streets of Rage 4? I don't know. Is it? It's not Streets of Rage 4? Wait, it is? Now I'm getting conflicting. Yes, it is, I'm being told. So basically, if I got Game Pass this month, I could do a stream of Minecraft Dungeons. I could do Streets of Rage 4, all for the cost of Game Pass rather than buying those games. All right, I'll have to think about it. No, not people are saying it's not. Oh, my God. Some people are saying it is, some people are saying it's not. Well, I'm going to have to definitely get a definitive answer before I think about getting Game Pass, because I don't want to waste my time. Okay. Anyway, all right. Thank you for that information. Thank you, Snorlax, for the cheer. Official Azeria has resubscribed for 38 months. It says, hope you're staying safe, Phil. Thank you, Official Azeria. I mean, as safe as I could possibly be. It is what it is. I don't think anywhere is 100% safe right now in our country because of the unrest going on. But at the same time, yes, we are healthy, and so thank you for that. I hope you as well are healthy and happy. And also thank you for the ongoing support. Even a 55 resub for 31 months. And says, Phil, hope all is well. Thank you very much, Infinite, for the support. I appreciate that. So Randy O'Butternut took me $20, basically just saying about the Black Lives Matter talk last night, and he had gotten banned and all of that. So I looked into it, and yeah, he was involved in one of the discussions that got heated. I guess people were going back and forth with each other, and he ended up getting banned over it. So I just looked into it. I said, all right, benefit of the doubt here. Please, guys, don't get into heated arguments about this stuff on a gameplay stream. It ain't going to fly. It's one thing for me to be talking about it on pre-stream to get out of the way. It's another thing for people to getting at each other's throats and going after each other constantly. It ain't going to happen, all right? Fair enough? All right. Ladies and gents, let's now give a shout-out to the top cheerers of the week so far. All right? Thank you to those who've cheered. We've got a quadruple tie for 7th place between Panda Girl Reborn, Captain Justice, Alone Light, and Spartan King. Thank you guys for those cheers. I appreciate that. We've got Zephyrus in 6th place, Nose Vacuum in 5th, Crabcock in 4th, Save the Pig the Game in 3rd, Crabcock in 2nd, and Red Spider-Man in 1st. Thank you guys for that support. And also thank you to those who've gifted subscriptions this week. We've got I Killed Phil and Guitar Player, who each gifted a single subscription. Thank you guys for that. I appreciate that very much. Okay? Now I got a tip from someone. I have no idea what the hell they're talking about. Someone named Robotic Media to the dollar saying, are you the guy who stole content from Rockshaw Media? I don't know what the hell Rockshaw Media is, and I've never stolen a piece of content from anybody. Not once in my life has this ever happened. So the answer is no. I don't know what the hell Rockshaw Media is. Never heard of it. Does anyone even know if this is a reference to something important or pertinent? No, I don't know. Never heard of this. No one has any idea what the fuck's going on. All right. Well then. I guess I'll just say thanks. Thanks for the dollar tip, and I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Okay. Oh, I should actually add that to the totals, huh? Is it a detractor beam? Oh, God. Who cares? I don't even care anymore. All right, guys, so here's the deal. Let's take a brief break. I got to use the bathroom anyway. When I come back, I'm going to check out the results of the Twitter poll that I just did. And I'm going to see, what character people have voted for. We're going to check out either Fujin or Shiva in Mortal Kombat 11. It should be a fun stream, okay, guys? Remember, I got to end a half an hour early today, which is fine. It's just going to cut a little bit of the multiplayer, a little bit shorter than usual. It's not going to be a huge deal, okay? All right, I'll be back in a few. Thanks, guys.